Hey y'all, welcome back to Mathewson Golf. The last couple of weeks, I've had quite a few of my students come to me with issues with the slice. Please fix this slice. I don't know if I want to play the game anymore. Please help. Well, coming up is going to be a foolproof drill that I'm going to go through with you step by step that is going to cure that slice if that's what you suffer from. Do the work, do the due diligence, stay the path, and you'll get rid of that slice. Here we go. So let's talk about the slice, the dynamics of the slice. So there's two things that are happening. One thing for sure in almost every instance is when you're entering impact, it's coming from the outside of the target line, impact, and then inside the target line on the follow through. So these balls right here, this is the one that you'll hit in this drill. This is the one that you will try to swing over. I'll talk about that in a moment. But this is the target line for reference, okay? The 3 o'clock position on the clock is the middle of the ball, the equator. So what we want to do is, if we're going to be wanting to hit a straight shot, we're going to be wanting to attack that ball underneath the 3 on the dial. But the 4 o'clock position is not a bad place to describe it, okay? If you are coming in at the 2 o'clock position, okay, on the clock, that is your outside to in path. If you have even a square face, that's going to impart a clockwise spin on the ball, which is going to result in that slice where it is a big left to right move without a lot on it, probably going to get you into trouble. All the frustrating issues that you have to deal with in golf. If you are really struggling with the slice, you're going to have to confront those issues a lot more than you would otherwise want to. If I swing it down that path with a square face, I'm fine, okay? But I can also swing it right down this perfect path of the ball that we're going to hit and towards the second ball out in front, which is representing the target line. If my face is slightly open, as opposed to square, if my face is slightly open and I'm coming through the where we have the target line, it's going to also impart that clockwise spin of the ball, and you're going to end up with the exact same thing as you would with the outside in. This drill takes care of two things, okay? One is we want to be swinging down the target line better instead of out and in, okay? We also want to make sure that we are squaring that club face coming through the ball. And squaring that club face as you rotate out, what that means is, or what is required when you're coming through the ball, is this face is going to move in this direction, okay? The toe coming through the ball is going to wrap around the heel, if you get my drift, okay? It's going to wrap around the heel. That's what happens as you're coming into the ball. So it's feeling open as we're coming into impact. We come to impact, and whether it's through forearms or completely by body rotation, either or, that toe has got to go over the top of the heel as you're coming through the ball. I don't want to make it more complicated than it needs to be, but there are folks that teach squaring the club face with the upper body, and that's how you square the club face and close it. I'm dealing with and talking to people that really struggle with that slice, and they're more of a novice or a beginner. And what we're going to do here is not necessarily what if you were a tenured player, what your pro that you're taking lessons from may be wanting to teach. But for the novice, this is the best drill to get you out of that slice jail. And that's what we want you to get out of. We want you to be out in the free breathing air of hitting greens, hitting fairways, and staying out of trouble, because you're able to swing down the path and hit better shots, more consistent shots. The flip side of the slice, as I spoke of, is also the pull. So it's the pull is coming from outside in, but if you're able to square that face directly with this path as you're coming down, and I've got the, now this is, and this would be the swing path from out to in. If I have a closed club face and it's square to that path, that's where we get that hard pull that just goes directly to the left. And it's not necessarily fading, and it's not necessarily hooking. It's just that straight shot that feels absolutely solid. You hit it further than what you normally do, and that's what the result of that is it being outside in, and I get the face square with that path. What we want to do here is we want to get square with the path to our target line, okay? We have got to, and I know you'll agree with this, you have to agree with this because it's just common sense, more so than anything else. If I want to hit this ball at my target, it makes a lot of sense that I've got to be swinging down that line. And we want to swing down that line beginning at about the 3 o'clock position, because it's a rotation in and a rotation out, right? But we've got to be swinging along this target path. There's just no two ways about it, okay? For us as novices that we're trying to get fixed here. But that's our goal here. We want to feel like we're swinging through the impact area and over that ball here, as opposed to break this habit, this terrible habit of doing this, okay? And so it is going to, if you stop the swing right in here, it's going to be inside, but we want to be hitting down at the ball, down on impact. Now we got a chance, and we're going to rotate our forearms, and we're going to be able to get the toe over the heel, and that's going to create even a draw, believe it or not. Now, let's talk about how this drill needs to work, because it is very, very important that we do the proper ingredients that are a part of this drill, okay? The first thing that I want, these are going to be essentially 3/4 swings, okay? And we want to make sure that they're very rhythmic, okay? We're not trying to hit it a long ways. What we're trying to do here is stamp this rotation of the forearms, which we're going to talk about, and also the club path, the club head path going down the target line. What we want to avoid, what I want to avoid in this drill to impart upon you, is do not get 3/4 swings and not get any wrist bend. Okay, I want us to pick that club up a little bit so that we've got some momentum of the club coming into the ball, and it's just an unhinging, hinge it, and I'm just letting it fall, unhinge and fall on the back of the ball. Okay, we want to make sure that action is going on, and we don't have here, and then we get in this habit of from here without any letting the club fall out of its more cocked position. We start dragging it. We start dragging it this way, which opens our shoulders, which opens our shoulders too much, and then we get that outside to inside path. The other thing is that we've got to be rotating our hips back a bit. Our shoulders, of course, are going to be rotating to get a little bit of coil, all right? And then most importantly, maybe not most importantly, but very critical, is we have to be opening our left hip and rotating out of the shot with our left hip and shoulders as well, okay? And getting up. You may not necessarily get all the way up on your right toe, because these are 3/4 inch swings or 3/4 swings, and we're just being very rhythmic with it. So we might be still maybe a little bit, not quite all the way up on our right toe as we would with a full shot, where we're going to have more momentum carrying us through the swing to where the sole of our right shoe is going to be pointing directly backward. But we do want to make sure that we're getting this rotation and getting up on that toe, or at least almost all the way up on that toe, depending on how hard we are swinging. If we swing and we are not moving our feet, okay, that foot stays down planted into the ground. I'm only going to be able to rotate my hips open so far, okay? So at some point in time, I'm going to get to a place where my hips do not want to rotate anymore because I have not given any slack to the hips by raising this heel, okay? And when these hips will not rotate any further, my shoulders can only rotate so far as well also. Make sense? Planted foot, hips can only go so far. Once the hips stop turning because they can't go any further, the shoulders trying to unwind and rotate towards the target and down the target line to allow the club to go down the target line. These get stuck as well. And then that's what creates this, okay, I've got to get the club to the ball, but I can't rotate any further. And that is going to bring about that outside in swing. The other very important piece is the rotation of the forearms, okay? So we want to get, as I spoke about, we want to get the toe of this club to wrap over the heel, okay? And I'm doing that through my forearms. I'm not doing it this way. I'm not breaking my left wrist this way to do it, okay? All I am doing is taking my right forearm and I'm rolling it over my left, okay? The right wrist is essentially flat at this point. So is the left wrist. So when you're coming down into the ball, it's here, and that's where I'm going to end up. Yes, I agree. That's a very exaggerated move. Yes, I agree. Not everybody teaches that in an instructional golf swing. But this is a drill. And all we're trying to do is bake in the feel of what needs to take place to make sure that we have our best opportunity to swing it down the line, wrap the toe around the heel, which imparts that draw feeling, a better chance of hitting it on the 3 o'clock position, as opposed to this. Okay, so this, my forearms are not rotating out. The club face, now I got to come in this way. The club face is open. Club face is closing. Club face is closing. Club face is closing. We want to make sure that we have a descending blow on the ball. Okay, we do not want to be here and then just throw it out there, okay, with no real intent to get a descending blow onto the ball. Okay, with irons, which is what this drill is using, we want to make sure that we have a descending blow onto the back of the ball. Okay, we're wanting to compress it. We're wanting to take a divot, the whole 9 yards. We don't want this to go over that second ball. Okay, we don't need to go over that second ball. What we want to do is feel like that we are going to be going down the target line by having the secondary target of the ball out in front on the target line, but we are going to be going left of that ball by the time we reach that period of time, or reach that period in the swing. Rotate out, but we're attacking it from the inside. Okay, I'm thinking about when I'm coming into the ball, I'm trying to hit this second one. And what it's going to feel like is that you're throwing your hands as you're rolling way out to right field, probably. Not even to the second baseman on the baseball field. You're going to feel like you're throwing that out there to the right field fence. It's going to feel weird. I promise you. But think about this. If I am coming down the target line and I'm rotating the face, in this case with our forearms, wrapping the toe around the heel, 4 o'clock position on the club face, and I'm swinging down the target line from there and then rotating, how far offline can that ball go? If you do it right and you are able to do what this drill is intending you to do, isn't it? It's almost impossible to hit it offline. It makes perfect sense, and it's going to feel weird, and you're going to hit bad shots doing it. Why? Because you've never done it right before. And If you get frustrated with this drill, gosh, I can't hit it very well, fine. What's the alternative? The alternative is just continuing to do what you have been doing. 90% of your shots are a slice. 8% of your shots are a pull. It's probably a different ratio than that. It's probably 97% of your shots that you're making is a slice, and that's all it's doing is going right, going right, going right. No power, no accuracy. All you're doing is, well, I'll just line up more left and I'll try to play it. That's not a fun way to play golf. Then 2% of the time you get those pulls. Straight shot, man, I hit that super. Why? It went so far and it went so straight, but doggone it, it's 20 yards left of my target line, and now I'm in trouble there. And then you have the 1% of the time where you hit that straight shot. Oh, I'm onto something. No, you're not onto something. Just one swing out of 100, you happen to make a mistake enough to where the club path, the club face, and your rotation of the face or what have you, they all just happen to come together by accident, and the ball went straight. So the bottom line is, do this drill. It will work. Let me know in the comments if you have any issues. Reach out to me through the comments. I will get directly back to you and we'll talk this through. You can send me video. We'll talk this through. But this is a drill that should be a keeper for you, and just have the patience, put in the work and the due diligence, and it's all going to work out just fine. See you next time on Mackey's Golf.